Time Warner Audiobooks presents Star Wars.
Once there was a space ship with some people. The corridor was crowded with sullen prisoners gathered by Imperial troops. They carried about them the aura of men prepared to ship themselves, as a massive caped form came into view. 2 meters tall, bisexual, flowing black robes trailing from the figure, and a face forever masked by a mask. The figure shifted its big butt around in armored hands, its massive outline bristling with dozens of hairy bumps, with a powerful crack around a single mechanical brown eye, pockmarked with some angry boils, which made him frown. A dark lord of the Sith was an awesome shape as it strode through the corridors of the rebel ship, touching his own behind. On the other hand, touching his own dented and bent and highly visible dick. The cloud of evil which clung tight about him was intense enough to cause hardened Imperial troops to fart a bit. Once resolute rebel crew members uttered loud grunts and moans of fright as they rushed to get away from the fucking fuck face. One purpose burned in the brain of Darth Vader: watching, frozen with his uncle. As if on command, everyone became silent. A tall, dignified gentleman stood. "Roar," Vader rumbled. The tall, dignified gentleman sat and hummed softly to himself. A slim, supple man rose. Closing his eyes, and with the confidence of a blind man in a large, rotating bubble, the man gestured towards his dick. Somehow, he had succeeded in wedging his balls into position in front of the penis. Pardon me, sir, but take a look." A massive hand closed around the man's small dick and lifted him off the deck. Metal-clad fingers contracted. "Oh!" He squeezed harder. "I find this lack of pants disturbing." Leia looked at him with contempt. "The more you tighten your grip, the more slimy muck will slip through your fingers." With a slightly admonishing tone, the Dark Lord said, "Ah." Then, for no apparent reason, he jabbed a thumb up the officer's bare bum, which began to turn a disconcerting shade of blue. The passage widened, emitting a smell. A second later, Princess Leia let out a yelp. The helmet had popped off the top of the cock, shot clean across the room, and ricocheted off the far wall, dropping to the corridor floor, bouncing down the corridor, coming to rest on the elderly face of a huge rebel crewman. But he was dead. "Eee," Vader grumbled. The bones had been reduced to a stub, protruding into empty air. The rebel officer's eyes bulged as he let out a frantic symphony of whistles, hoots, beeps, and whistles of such frantic concern. Then he blinked. "Oh, well, it could be worse," he ventured. "I could have a casual metal thumb far up the butt." Then, looking back, "Oh, no!" The sound of the single doorway sliding aside cut him off. The door slid aside, and sliding aside, it cut him off. The door, as it slid aside, interrupted him. The sound of the door was coming from within the door, deep within the bowels of the door, and effectively eliminated the officer's voice as it slid aside. Moving to one side, a door opened to one side, although the sound held no meaning as it slid across the gap. It cut him off in mid-speech, and it issued softly from the swipe of the door. "Door?" Leia wondered. "Door," muttered a big human. The Grand Moff Tarkin entered. "Hello there." "Governor Tarkin," Leia spat. you little twerp. I should have expected to find you holding Vader's big brown butthole. Then Leia spotted a ship and gestured to it. Say, I thought I recognized your unique stench, but it was just a ship. You little hideous, thin, hatchet-faced, whining, stupid, overstressed, pathetic, perverse ship touching crisscross tape, hunting, dick probing, small-hand man with the expression of a soulless, bizarre, long, yellow, lumbering turd. What? Oh, that was mean, Tarkin said, as he spun and half ran from the room, without looking back. Silence hung in the air of the corridor. Vader stated.